Everyone, my name is Arti and you're watching HW News. We are going live today because this is the last day of campaigning for the first phase of UP Assembly election. The first phase will have 58 seats, especially in Western UP, going for the voting, going for the polling. And in this first phase, as I said, 58 seats will be there on which people will cast their votes. However, it is interesting to see that just before 2 days of polling, the political parties in Uttar Pradesh have released their manifesto. Now, Congress party in the past had released Bharti Vidhan, which was essentially their manifesto for the employment for the youth. However, the BJP today, this morning, they released their Sankalp Patra, which is their manifesto. And after BJP released their manifesto, Samajwadi Party has also come out with its version of manifesto. It is interesting to see, however, that just 2 days before the polling, the political parties have realized that there is something called as manifesto, which is required for the people, which is required to present their vision to the people of the constituencies that are going for polling. So today we will talk about this. Today we will talk about what are the manifesto promises and what exactly do political parties want to achieve by releasing the manifesto just 2 days before the polling in assembly elections and on the last day of the campaigning for the first phase. To discuss this, I am joined by our associate editor, Sonu Kanojia, who is in Uttar Pradesh. He will join us in a while, but I'm also joined by our managing editor. So let us discuss with him. Let me just join him to the conversation and let us also try to get a perspective on the manifesto. Let me first tell you some of the manifesto promises. Sujit ji, as I said, the manifesto of BJP looks like it has been taken up from the Congress party. Some promises have been taken up from the Aam Aadmi party, some from Samajwadi party, and the promises have been made. However, the one highlight promise that everybody is talking about is the Love Jihad one, the Love Jihad law that the UP Assembly had passed last year. And in that particularly, the Yogi Adityanath government has promised that if they come back to power, they will increase the punishment to up to 10 years in jail and the fine will be up to 1 lakh. However, there are other promises also, like for women, there are promises of free scooty, which I think also the Congress party had promised in their Ladki Ho Lad Sakti Ho campaign. There are promises of some freebies, free electricity, which was promised by Akhilesh Yadav also. So some of these promises are there in BJP's manifesto. But essentially, the question remains the same. What is the importance of manifesto? Because it is being released just 2 days before the polling.
Arti, look at the irony of the situation. Look at the irony of the situation. All this while, the only thing that was spoken about is गर्मी ठंडी करेंगे या 80-20 Kashi Vishwanath. You see, all this while, this was what was spoken about. Okay, the manifesto is what, in a decent democracy, the manifesto is what you place in front of the voters. Based on your manifesto is what the voters votes you in for. That's how democracy works. But somewhere down the line, somehow everything seems to be kind of, and I'm not talking about one particular party, I'm also talking about Samajwadi Party. Okay, there was the fact that Samajwadi Party says that I will release my manifesto after Bharatiya Janata Party release manifesto. Ye kya baat hui? Why would they want to release their manifesto after Bharatiya Janata Party releases their manifesto and Bharatiya Janata Party releasing their manifesto today? Because the last thing that a politician needs to release is what they are actually going to do for people. Okay, that's the last thing that a politician wants to reveal. Because you know what? It is difficult, Arti. Arti, it is difficult for a politician to say that I will take care of your health. It is difficult for a politician to say that I will take care of your education. It is difficult for a politician to say that I will ensure that you get jobs. It is difficult for a politician to say that I will ensure that there is food in your table. You see, the problem here is, what are they promising? Scooties. Scooties means what? Whose money are they going to get scooties from? Is Samajwadi going to get them from their money, or Bharatiya Janata Party going to get from their money? It is like from your money, they will buy you scooties and give you. I mean, what kind of promises are these? What about the job that Uttar Pradesh youth requires? Who is talking about that? And what are the concrete? See, saying that, the problem again, Arti, is please look at manifesto from the perspective of how it has been manifested. Okay, all these years. Okay, 2 crore job de denge. Kahan se denge, bhai? Where is that 2 crore job coming from? How are you going to ensure that MSMEs are built up so that MSMEs can provide jobs? How are you going to do it? How much government job can you give? And how is the government going to pay these people who they are going to appoint like left, right, and center? So there is no plan. You didn't see a plan in the budget. You don't see a plan in the parliament, and you are not seeing a plan even in manifesto. Okay, we are going to go around the mulberry bush talking about Hindu, talking about Muslims, talking about Kashi, talking about Ayodhya. That's what we are going to do. And finally, the voters are going to get nothing. There will be no difference whatsoever. And this is the sad part of our democracy. This has to change, Arti. Somebody has to talk about this, and this particular fact has to change. Manifesto is the promise that you give for your voters. The fact that you don't do that, it is very sad. It is absolutely sad.
There is particularly focus on women, and there are women specific promises that have been made in this manifesto. Let me list out few. First of all, they have said that under the Ujjwala Yojana, one free cylinder will be given on the occasion of Holi as well as on the occasion of Diwali. And women who are 60 years and above, they will be given free yatra, as in the Kejriwal government had also started, Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi had also started this concept called pilgrimage. So all the elderly will be sent to free pilgrimage. So this is what also being promised by the BJP government. However, they say that only elderly women who are 60 years and above, they will be given this free pilgrimage. Interestingly, about employment, they have promised that they will ensure in the next 5 years, if they come back to power, they will ensure that in every household in Uttar Pradesh, there is one employed youth.
How, Arti? How are you going to do that? 2 crore employment they were going to give. Now what happened to that? Arti, tell me, when you are talking about women empowerment, you are a woman yourself. What is women empowerment? One free gas? Is that how you are going to empower women, by giving them cooking gas? Why? Because you envisage a woman to be somebody who sits in the kitchen. You see, look at the concept. Empowering women is to ensure that she gets to participate in the management. Is any party ensuring that the women, there are going to be 50% women ministers in the assembly? Forget ministers, 50% women, 40% women in the parliament, in the assembly. Okay, that's not there. Are we promising that women will be, they'll ensure that women are educated? There'll be certain education processes, there'll be certain education fees, there'll be education facilities provided to women. Rural women, are there processes? Are there any programs where rural women will be provided with education, where rural women will be empowered with education so that they can go and work, they can go and find employment, they can have an opportunity to grow? This is empowering women. This is empowering women. A free gas cylinder, is that what we are talking about? And Kashi and Yatra, what is that?
Pilgrimage.
Tirth Yatra, pilgrimage for elderly women. What are we talking about? Are these steps to empower women, or are these enticements to get women votes? So I find this absolutely ridiculous. I find this ridiculous. And again, I'm saying, I'm not talking about one particular party or another. I am talking about how we as voters, I think we are being completely misguided as voters. I think, it's a raw deal that we get as voters, and that's what makes me feel sad. And that's why I am a little agitated when I speak. I will try not to in the future,
Well,
the next
the
question.
farmers agitation has also been, one of the focus point of this particular election. The farmers have been the focus point. The BJP government has now said that they will purchase the potatoes, the onions, and tomatoes on MSP, which has been the major demand of the farmers of Western Uttar Pradesh. However, their demand is whatever produce they whatever crop they produce, they have to the government has to buy it on MSP. However, the BJP has promised that they will take potato, onions, and tomato on MSP. There is another promise in the BJP manifesto which says that they will provide free electricity if the electricity is used for irrigation of the crops. Now, the funny part here is that Akhilesh Yadav had said that up to 300 units, the electricity will be free for farmers. The interesting part, as I said, is this. When this promise was made in Punjab by the Aam Aadmi Party, the BJP mocked it, saying that these parties are giving freebies. They are making the people used to of this entire freebies and free stuff. So this is where it stands. Now the BJP is also promising free stuff to people in election.
Yeah, absolutely. See, somewhere down the line, the entire concept of manifesto is a joke, Arti. Okay, it's a joke. So, I wait for your manifesto, then I take down what you, if you say I offer 10 liters of water free, I say I offer 100 liters of water free. Then somebody says I offer, you see, where is this budget going to come from? Where is this money going to come from? Where are you offering this free from? This is the question I've been asking, and my entire concept to you is, somewhere down the line, this concept of manifesto is getting absolutely irrelevant in from our democracy. That's the sad part of the story. Now, let me tell you about farmers specifically. See, farmers, especially when it comes to Bharatiya Janata Party, farmers, it is too little and too late. Okay, too little because somewhere down the line, the damage that was done by Farm Bill, the damage that was done by Farm Act, okay, and what they offered and the way it was repealed, the way the entire thing was rolled out, I think the farmers, there is a scar in farmers, amongst farmers in Uttar Pradesh. So that scar needs to be only filled with faith and trust. You see, if you remember, Arti, this channel has constantly been saying that more than anything else, I think the government needs to win the trust of the farmers. They need to win the faith of the farmers. It is not about, I offer this or you better do this or this is the law and that is the thing. You go and sell it to a big company, a big corporate will be involved. It is not about that. It is about winning the trust of the farmers, winning the faith of the farmers, which I think Bharatiya Janata Party government didn't do from day one. And this is a fact. This is a fact. Not only me, I'm saying even Bharatiya Janata Party has to retrospect this fact. Bharatiya Janata Party, if they start looking at it from the day this farmer agitation started, this farmer problem started, if they take each steps they have taken from that day, they will realize that somewhere down the line, the biggest thing they have lost in the farmer is faith. It is not easy to win back faith. Winning back faith is not about offering them free electricity or free water supply or buying their products in MSP. It doesn't work that way. It has to be far more. It has to be far more. So that's as far as farm is concerned, Arti. And as far as the other things in the manifestos are concerned, yes, it is finally this entire concept. I remember when Arvind Kejriwal used to talk about free bijli, free pani, the whole world used to say, "Kya free mein deke logon ko kya corrupt kara raha hai?" I remember in Delhi, I remember most of these people, most of the Bharatiya Janata Party people had said that, what is this offering free? ऐसा थोड़ी होता है. अब it has become a fashion. It has become a fad. Every manifesto, every party is talking about free. So somewhere down the line, they have actually lifted it from Arvind Kejriwal's book, and they are now cut pasting it in theirs. So this is what it is, Arti. This is what it is.
I think there are some interesting promises in Samajwadi Party manifesto as well. Let us just have a quick look at that. One interesting promise that I think is that the owner of two-wheelers will get 1 liter free petrol every month. And the auto rickshaw owners will get 6 liters of petrol and 3 kg of CNG free every month. Now, this is a tall promise, 1 liter of petrol free every month to all the owners of two-wheeler.
You
Is
know,
it really?
Arti, these are steps. These are steps which will bleed the economy. These are steps which will bleed the economy, because where is this money going to come from? This money could come from health funds. This money could come from developmental funds. This money could come from education funds. If at all he actually goes and delivers it, because that's where petrol has to be paid for. Hindustan Petroleum or Bharat Petroleum or IOCL will not pay him, give him petrol free, no. So he has to pay them for the petrol. Okay, so these funds which he pays, that 1 liter will come from some funds which are important, because we are not a rich country where we have excess of funds, we have funds overflowing. Aisa kuch nahi hai. Okay, so this funds will come from somewhere. Now tell me, a person, a two-wheeler, getting 1 liter of petrol free, maximum 1 liter in a motorcycle will take you how much? 80 kilometers, 120 kilometers. That's what it takes you. So he will get to ride for 120 kilometers in the month. How does that benefit him? How does that benefit him? You tell me. So the fact remains that, and can any bike rider will ever tell you that, I in 1 month I only put 1 liter of petrol and it works for 1 month? Does that really happen? So finally, these are not things which will actually benefit the petrol, which will actually benefit the voters. It sounds good. These things sound good. Okay, in marketing, we call feel good factors. These are feel good factors. 1 liter petrol एक महीने में फ्री मिलेगा, फील गुड फैक्टर्स, एक सिलेंडर फ्री देंगे, फील गुड फैक्टर्स. To give that feel good factors, what you're doing is you're compromising on essentials. You're possibly, I'm not saying you're compromising, I'm saying you're possibly compromising on essentials. Essential which includes education, essentials which include healthcare, essentials which includes infrastructure, essentials which includes possibly creation of job opportunity. These essentials have been compromised, and that's the sad part of the story, I think.
One interesting thing that happened today is also the fact that Mamata Banerjee came down to UP to campaign for Akhilesh Yadav. Now, we have been talking about it since quite few lives that we are doing. Uh, the fact that Mamata Banerjee, an opposition candidate against whom the BJP fought with all its might last year and again lost, she came down to Uttar Pradesh to campaign for Akhilesh Yadav. However, it is very interesting to note that PM Modi is not yet in Uttar Pradesh, physically at least, to campaign for Yogi Adityanath. Today she came down to UP and she said that people should not fall for promises that are being made by the BJP and they should make Akhilesh Yadav win. And she also gave a slogan, Ab ki baar Akhilesh Sarkar 300 par.
Correct. See, I'll tell you, as far as Mamata Banerjee is concerned, see, Mamata Banerjee is clearly taking steps to be seen as a national leader. Okay, she's clearly taking those steps. Okay, she was here in Mumbai. She's now in Uttar Pradesh campaigning for Samajwadi Party, and so on and so forth. Now, the fact remains that we should not see this in isolation. You should remember that Samajwadi Party had sent Mrs. Jaya Bachchan to West Bengal to campaign for Mamata Banerjee. So it was purely they had a fairly good equation between them. So this was actually, in a way, it's actually a reciprocation of what Akhilesh had done for them when she was contesting her elections. That's number one. Number two, yes, as far as Mamata Banerjee is concerned, I don't know why I'm saying Mayawati. As far as Mamata Banerjee is concerned, she is clearly trying to be that one national leader, okay, that's going to pull this entire bunch of opposition together. Now, that's the tussle between Mamata Banerjee's TMC and Congress. That tussle is going on, and especially in a place like Uttar Pradesh, Mamata Banerjee seems to be taking the lead. But that's still something that we need to wait and watch. That's still something that needs to be understood and seen. That's a different issue. But as on today, she is doing that. Now let's come to Narendra Modi. See, Narendra Modi, I'm sure will go to Uttar Pradesh. Narendra Modi, I'm sure will go and campaign, because finally Uttar Pradesh is going to be very, very important for Bharatiya Janata Party. What he has not done it, that's a different issue. That's something that is quite surprising, but the fact remains that he will do that. I'm very sure about that. I have no doubt in my mind. Now, what one needs to understand is Uttar Pradesh is very, very important for Bharatiya Janata Party, Aarti. It is very important for Bharatiya Janata Party because Uttar Pradesh is one place that may even affect the presidential election, which means the presidential election that is due in 2022 may take a different role. Maybe Bharatiya Janata Party may not be able to put up their presidential candidate, make their presidential candidate win if Uttar Pradesh goes south. As if Uttar Pradesh doesn't, if they don't win Uttar Pradesh, and if they don't have good numbers in Uttar Pradesh. Now that's a very dangerous situation because the president who gets elected now, and in 2024, that president may be playing an important role. Now think for a minute. I'm not saying this is what's going to happen. I'm just saying think for a minute. Think for a minute. If Mamata Banerjee becomes the president of India, the entire opposition put together decides to make her the president of India, and she becomes the president of India. You know what pain she can be to Bharatiya Janata Party in 2024? So Bharatiya Janata Party and Uttar Pradesh especially is a very, very important place for Bharatiya Janata Party. It's a very important state for Bharatiya Janata Party, and Bharatiya Janata Party will leave no stone unturned, including Prime Minister going there, including Mr. Narendra Modi going there. They will leave no stone unturned to ensure that they give their best to win the state back. Arti.
Well, Mamata Banerjee last time around had also announced, in fact, her party had announced that she will contest from Varanasi, and in 2024 she will give challenge to PM Modi from Varanasi. And now it seems like that Mamata Banerjee has more or less confirmed that TMC is also looking to make inroads in Uttar Pradesh, although the party does not have any presence in the Hindi heartland state. This campaigning for Akhilesh Yadav, do you think that it's a sort of her arrangement that she's trying to make some kind of an alliance with Akhilesh Yadav beforehand?
See, I'll tell you, Arti, that is too early to predict. I'll tell you, it is too early to predict. I'll tell you why. See, if Mamata Banerjee wanted to enter Uttar Pradesh, she would have entered Uttar Pradesh because she did enter Goa. What is so different between Goa and Uttar Pradesh? It is not that Goa has got a lot of Bengalis. So she has come into Goa, a state which has she had no experience, or she had no special, special impetus. But the fact that she came into Goa. Now, that being said, if she wanted to go to Uttar Pradesh, she goes to Uttar Pradesh. The idea of Mamata Banerjee going to Uttar Pradesh, the idea of Mamata Banerjee going out and saying that "Ab ki baar Akhilesh Sarkar," I think that is a clear it's a clear reciprocation of her thanking Akhilesh Yadav for him supporting her when she was fighting her election in West Bengal. I will see it only from that perspective. I don't see it in any other perspective at the moment. See, tomorrow you never know. Obviously, TMC wants to be a national party. Obviously, TMC wants to be the alternative for Congress. Absolutely, TMC would want to be the leading party in 2024 to fight against Bharatiya Janata Party. So all this, there is no debate, Arti. But if you ask me honestly, I would say at the moment I will see it as if as Mamata Banerjee trying to reciprocate to Akhilesh Yadav.
All right. The first phase will have 58 seats that will go for polling. All of them are in Western Uttar Pradesh. Now, this is the region that I think this time around BJP is little worried about, because it is heavily dominated by the Jats and farmers. So, and this is a Jat land where anger is building up between, against the BJP. In 10 days, in last 10 days, at least 9 BJP leaders, BJP ministers were, made to run away when they went to campaign in those particular region. Do you think that this region will be a little tough for BJP?
Arti, you and I spoke to the Jat president quite recently, I think a week back. Yeah, you and I spoke to them. You and I also spoke to the national spokesperson of RLD. Again, I think in that same show, isn't it? Okay, there is a rift between Jats and Bharatiya Janata Party. There is no debate on that. Okay, and Jat votes are going to, of course, RLD is trying to consolidate the Jat votes. So that also is a fact. Now, with while BJP is giving a lot of importance, impetus to Jat leaders, giving a lot of tickets to Jat leaders, that too a fact. But even today, like we heard from those two Jat leaders, and from the Jat president, the Jat Mahasabha, na? What was that, Arti? Which was that?
Rashtriya Jat Mahasangh.
Rashtriya Jat Mahasangh. That gentleman, he had said the same. R&D spokesperson had said the same. So there is definitely a kind of a difference between there's some kind of a man muthav jisko bolte hai na, man muthav. There is some man muthav between within Bharatiya Janata Party and Jats, and also the fact that especially in Western Uttar Pradesh, Jats and Muslims seems to be coming together. They seem to be coming together, which means that if you technically look at it, it is almost 50% of that area, that voter base. So they are coming together, which traditionally they always were together, you see, which had changed in 2017. So traditionally they were always together. It changed in 2017. Now it seems that they are coming back. They are coming back together, and somewhere down the line they don't seem to be much in favor of Bharatiya Janata Party at the moment. So that's where it stands.
Hmm. We have one question. I think we should take it. The question is, what is the role of Muslim voters in Uttar Pradesh, and how would they vote keeping MIM in mind?
See, I don't think Muslim voters are going to give much impetus to MIM. I think Muslim voters, the 20%, 80%, the figures that were thrown around, those numbers which were given, the 20% is very much aware of the fact that their vote should count. When they vote, it should count, and that is going to be a very, very strong impetus on a Muslim's mind. So somewhere down the line, I don't think MIM is going to make much of a difference to the Muslim votes. I think Muslims are very clear as to where they want to vote, and they will make their vote count. And the fact that, like I said, Muslims and Jats put together, especially in Western Uttar Pradesh, they will make a very, very serious dent. Arti, they will make a serious difference. But overall, in Uttar Pradesh, like we know, the Muslim percentage is around 19%. So you have around 19% vote for Muslims. That's what the ratio is.
Mr. Arubasu, I think I'm pronouncing his name right. He has a
Yes.
question that does Mamta Banerjee being in Uttar Pradesh changes anything? Arubasu is our subscriber, our member. So I think we should take this question. Thank you so much, first of all, Arubasu ji, for subscribing to us, for subscribing to HW News. And that's your question. Does Mamta Banerjee being in UP changes anything?
See, I'll tell you what, Mamata Banerjee is a star. Okay, Mamata Banerjee is a kind of a hero when it comes to people, when it comes to the anti-BJP vote. Okay, she is kind of a hero because she is the person who has defeated, she is the David who has defeated the Goliath in West Bengal. She fought Narendra Modi, and she fought Narendra Modi. How? She fought Bharatiya Janata Party, and she fought Bharatiya Janata Party. How? So yes, she has a particular image. Now, whether that will culminate into vote, whether that will translate into vote, is something that we need to see. You can never be sure of all this. But the fact remains that she is a personality who can draw crowd. She is a personality who is a hero for a lot of people, especially, like I said, people who are not very pro Bharatiya Janata Party, or the voter base which is not going to vote for Bharatiya Janata Party. So that's what she is. And obviously she is a senior leader in India. So yeah, I mean, there is that popularity with her, that there is that respect with her. So and she is one person in India who is known, one leader in India among the few who are left, who's known from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. She's one of the few leaders in India who can draw crowd from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. In fact, even in Tamil Nadu, I am told that there were stickers in her, there were posters in her name. So yeah, I mean, she has turned her into, she was always a known leader, and she is a senior leader, but now she has become a national leader. There is no debate on that. Whether she will be the ideal prime ministerial candidate or not is a different debate for a different day. But yeah, she's a leader that you never know. She definitely will draw crowd, and some of it may translate into votes too.
One interesting fact is also about the party RLD. Now, this party, RLD, is its base voter is in farmers and Jats of Uttar Pradesh. Although the Jats had voted for BJP last time around in 2017 as well as in 2019, but seems like these voters are now coming back to RLD, and it has sort of scared the BJP as well. Whereas Amit Shah is going out and making statements like. That we wanted Jayant ji to come with us, Jayant Chaudhary to come with us, but he has chosen the wrong home. This is what Amit Shah said. On the other hand, Samajwadi Party has already made an alliance with RLD. It seems like that RLD is a key player here. What do you think? The most sought after party.
Yeah. Actually, I'll tell you, it is important. RLD is an important party. RLD is important for the simple reason that Jain Chaudhary has a good command over Jat votes. So that's one thing. The second thing is Jain Chaudhary also seems to be having a fabulous control on a section of farmers. So that also being important. So yes, RLD has all of a sudden proven, not all of a sudden, RLD has proven to be an important party. Chances are that they may get more seats than what they got last time. And definitely there is no debate on the fact that the Jat voters who are otherwise till recently, which is till before 2017, like I told you, Arti, let us be clear, before 2017, Jats and Muslims would vote together, and that vote would always go to an anti-BJP vote. But in 2017, Jat seems to be moving out. Jat voted for Bharatiya Janata Party. 2019, Jat voted for Bharatiya Janata Party. So to that extent, yes, definitely. But 2022 seems to be different. So now this 2022, RLD is playing a key role for as an anchorage to this Jat votes, which is why I guess as a shrewd politician and as an intelligent pollster, I think Amit Shah is trying to woo Jayant Chaudhary, which I think is correct.
I think let us take one last question and then we will end the show. The
Acha,
question is,
Aarti, where is our man from Uttar Pradesh? We seem to have lost him. Okay, he's still Digital India has
I think
not
it's some
happened, I guess.
connection issue.
Yeah,
I think
yeah. So our
it's
man from Uttar Pradesh is still not is missing. ठीक है,
yes.
fine,
So
Aarti.
just to
Please.
inform our viewers that our associate editor from HW Hindi, Mr. Sonu Kanojia, is in Lucknow. Our reporter on the ground, Hamza, is also in Uttar Pradesh. They are touring different areas of Uttar Pradesh and trying to get views from the people. If you might have seen on our channel that we have featured some of the most interesting insights from ground. What are the people talking about? What people expect from their leaders now that the elections are here? So there are very interesting conversations with people of Uttar Pradesh, with leaders of Uttar Pradesh that we are featuring on our channel. Please go to HW Hindi, HW English, and do watch those shows. This is our election coverage, so I think you could just see it, just watch it, and get some interesting insight as to what is happening on ground in Uttar Pradesh. So
And
I
also
think
in Punjab.
yes, and also
And
in
also
Punjab.
in Punjab. Yeah.
Yes, Punjab is also very interesting, and we
Correct.
yesterday itself we had one entire live dedicated to Punjab also. So that the last question that we have got from Basha K is, what is your view on opinion polls? Now, Akhilesh Yadav had also said that we should ban opinion polls. What do you think? Should we ban opinion polls or exit polls?
See, I'll tell you. I have a very straight view on this. You see, opinion polls does influence the voters. Okay, opinion polls, especially, I'm saying opinion polls, fair enough. It is in a way I would call it the celebration of democracy. ठीक है ना? मजा आता है opinion polls देखने को, कौन जीतेगा, who's going to win, who's going to do. ठीक है, all that is fine. But once the polls are announced, once the election is announced, once that process starts, once the tickets are given, okay, then I think this entire process of opinion poll should stop. You know why? Because opinion polls does influence a voter. Like I said 10 minutes back, okay, to a question that was put by one of our viewers as to, will MIM make a difference in Muslim votes? See, the fact is people today vote to ensure that their vote don't go waste. So that's why they're voting. Now, opinion poll gives them a direction, gives them a picture, okay, which may be correct or which may be incorrect. Okay, that too I will come to. But the fact remains that, see, before the election, before the the tickets and all are given, theek hai, chalo, that's okay. But once the election is announced, फिर आप जाके बोलोगे नहीं नहीं, this party will win, this party will get more seats, this party will wash the election, this party will be the first single largest party, ये सब बोलोगे तो you are influencing the voters, and I think that's absolutely wrong. And here you have Sonu Kanojia at the end of the program coming, and I don't think he can hear us either, so it's okay. So the fact is, that's where the problem starts, Arti, and I think that is wrong. So therefore, I do not agree to opinion poll. I think opinion poll should not be done after the elections are announced. That's my opinion on this, on opinion polls.
Yes, yes. Well, just one last question because I think it's very relevant. So we should take this question from Yash Dubey. What are our views on PM Modi's attack on Congress in the parliament today?
See, I have done an editorial on this. Yes, I want you to watch that editorial. My editorial is today dedicated to that. So I would keep this question, and yes, I would request you to watch my editorial at 10 o'clock. I've spoken about it, and I've spoken for good 20 minutes about it, and that will be my answer today. So wait till 10 o'clock, and please do watch this editorial at 10 o'clock, please.
Well, so that's all for this conversation. We talked about manifesto, we talked about Western UP. Yes, as Sujit sir said, do watch editorial at 10 o'clock today night, and also do watch our live shows because election season hai, so we are going to go live with our expert panel. We always do this 8:30 thing where we go live
And our
with expert
production team has got a new software also, which is now we are testing. So in case some wrong picture comes and some wrong photographs come, please do excuse us for some time because we are learning all this technology now. Let's be clear here, Arti, isn't it?
Yes. So thank you so much all for joining us. Thank you so much for watching this conversation. Thank you so much.